Good morning, everyone. I'm Howard Carroll with Packcraft Commercial Carpets, and I have my better best host out east, Perry Srigliano with Packcraft. Hey, Perry.
Hi, Howard.
Hey, we have our distinguished guest, Brenda Knowles from Shaw Industries. Brenda, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to see you, Howard and Perry, and hello to everyone in the audience.
Yes. Hey, tell us about your role with Shaw Industries.
So I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Product Development for our commercial business, and we have a couple of brands, and Packcraft, of course, is one of those. And, our team really leads the branding for our commercial brands and really works to understand what's important to our customers and then build solutions for them and really focused on that customer experience.
Tell us a little bit about your path to Shaw Industries.
So I guess maybe I should start with, I've been with Shaw my entire career. And it's just been so much fun. And so my path to Shaw is I actually started working with Shaw when I was in college. I guess you might call that an internship today. That was a long time ago, so I don't know that we necessarily called it an internship, but I worked during the day and went to school at night, and it was a way to get me through school. But then I fell in love with the company. I fell in love with our industry, with the design industry. And so what started out as a way to get me through college became a lifelong career. And it's just been so much fun. And I actually started with Shaw when we were just starting up our commercial business. So I got to be on the ground floor. And in those early days, that meant you had to do a little bit of everything. You had to wear every hat. And so I learned about customers. I learned about the design process. I learned about sales. I learned about how we made and distributed samples. I learned about, IT and just learned about so much. And it was just such a great learning experience. And it prepared me for, the great growth I've been able to experience in our business. So it's been a ton of fun.
That's great. What are some of your most rewarding experiences with Shaw Industry, and who are some of the people that inspired you?
It's interesting, Howard, you mentioned people along with most rewarding experiences, because anytime I think about rewarding experiences at Shaw, it is about our people. And I think the most rewarding has been, certainly I've had so many opportunities given to me for growth personally, but it's also about watching other people grow and develop. And so seeing people who, started here or at other places early in their career and learn and grow into leadership positions in our business today, it's just been so much fun. And we just have really, really great talent. And just that growth, I guess, has been really rewarding to me. And some of the people that have inspired me along the way, at least within Shaw, there's so many people in the industry who've inspired me along the way, principals of design firms that have touched me, people in resource managers have touched me. There are a lot of people in terms of clients who've touched me. Inside Shaw, I think about Tim Bauckham, and Tim came into Shaw in the 90s, and he has held so many positions throughout our company in our residential business and our commercial business. And he actually brought me back to Georgia from Chicago. And he has now grown into the leadership position. He just took over as CEO earlier this year. And he's just been he's had such an impact on me personally and professionally, and has guided much of my path within Shaw. And so he's really inspired me. And, we've had this path together at Shaw. And then, we're trading stories just this week about getting daughters into college. And so, those personal connections are as important as the business connections. One other thing, you mentioned, I'm sorry, Perry, but you mentioned rewarding experience. It is the people, but there's also one other thing I wanted to mention is the Create Center. And Perry, I think you and Howard have both been to the Create Center, and I don't know how many in our audience have, but it is a really a center of design and a center innovation for our business and a center that our clients can engage in. And I'm really, it's exciting to see how it's being leveraged by our people and by our clients. And when we first set the vision for that facility, when we were just beginning to talk about it, we set the vision as a place where our people want to be. And that's both our associates and our clients. And it's been so much fun and so rewarding to see that come to life and how it's leveraged. And just as a real center for design and a center for, excellence in the both associate experience and the customer experience.
It's certainly a beautiful building and a great environment, I think, for anybody that works there, all of the creative people and everybody else that works there. So, it definitely is.
Yeah, and I've had the distinct opportunity to bring clients here and watch it go to life and see how inspired they are. So I've loved engaging in that experience as well. It's been great.
So Brenda, what kind of advice would you give new people getting into the industry,
So I think the biggest piece of advice, you could go a lot of different directions, but is to be curious. Be curious. Learn at every opportunity and ask questions. Ask a ton of questions. Read, connect with people, and it's just about learning and growth. And that's for somebody new coming into the industry. But it's also like the three of us who've been in the industry for a long time. There's so much to learn, and the dynamics of the market shifts and what's valued and how we continue to drive ourselves to new levels. It's about how we learn and how we grow. And I mentioned Tim Bockham earlier. He always talks about if a student wants to learn, a teacher will appear. And basically what that means is that we can learn from each other every single day. We don't have to wait for a formal coach or a formal mentor to be assigned, although those are important also. But it's just, we can learn from each other every day. So just leverage all those opportunities, be curious, and just learn as much as you can at every turn.
I think just, with all the tenure we have, I think the thing that's most impressive is that we are always learning every day, no matter how long you've been with the company. There's no time for complacency, and there's all time for learning new things. And that's exciting because the company always pushes outside their comfort zone internally, and it ripples, you get that real positive ripple effect to the entire organization. So I think that's awesome. We love that. It keeps us inspired and going.
Very good.
Yeah. So Brenda, what is your most memorable experience in your career that you had? I know you have a lot, but what really stands out for you?
Oh, goodness. There's so many stories I could tell. I could tell the embarrassing stories on myself but maybe we'll save that for a glass of wine one day when I see you. But I'll tell you most memorable, things that I'm very passionate about are connecting people. And I have a real passion for travel. And, back to that learning, is learning about different cultures and learning about people all over the globe, and then learning how we're all connected all over the globe. And I have learned that no matter where you go, people are different, but people are the same. And I've also learned that no matter where you go in the world, there is some connection that you can find to the people there. And I'll tell you a story about that. On my first trip to Shanghai, gosh, this was probably 2008, maybe somewhere in that time range. It's my first trip to China. I was in Shanghai. We were looking into how we might, grow globally and connect with people with our brands at a higher level in various markets around the globe. And so I was there on a learning expedition, back to that learning. And we went into the very first design firm, the architecture and design firm, very first one that I went into. And I'm being introduced to the leadership around the firm. And one of the gentlemen just looked so familiar to me. So we went into the conference room, and the person leading the meeting, was getting down to business. And I said, you know what, we've got all that to talk about. But first, I have to know, Michael, where have we met before? Because you look so familiar. And I had never been to China. And so we started kind of backtracking. And before China, he lived in Hong Kong. And before that, Tokyo. And before that, Oregon. And before that, San Francisco. And the second he said San Francisco, it came to me. And we were able to piece it together. We were in a conference room in an architecture firm, RMW, sitting around the table with a friend of mine who was a friend of his, working on a project. We were even able to name what that project was. And that had happened, 15, 18 years before that. And it was just that connection that we were able to make all the way on the other side of the world. And that just really stands out and is just one example of no matter where you go in this world, you can find some connection, either, to you personally or professionally, and just how you leverage those relationships and connect people, and a thirst for learning. So that's it.
Well, like you said, it's always a small world out there.
It is indeed.
That's really great. Hey, listen, Howard and I both want to thank you for coming on today. We know you're very busy, but we appreciate you taking the time to share your experience and, some of your thoughts on, good advice for people getting into the industry. So thanks.
Wow.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a ton of fun.
Yes. Thanks again, Brenda. We appreciate it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.